What's up, guys? It's the Lowdown. Jeremy Conn here with you. It's all brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. Going to go over what happened this weekend, some other things, news and notes, and just talk about some of the games on Sunday. I like to do this because I don't know if there's certain things that you miss, but as I tell everyone, I watch everything. I rewatch stuff in the morning. I fell asleep during the Crawford and Canelo fight and rewatched that in the morning. I'm a huge boxing fan, but I just couldn't make it. I mean, I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back on since having surgery, but we'll see how it goes. Now, as far as today, please click the like and subscribe button. That helps us out. The notification button will let you know anytime one of these gets posted. Also, if you're interested in the inner circle, the concrete inner circle, that is, that number you see, you can text that number, text inner circle, and you'll find out more. And as I always say, I'm not trying to waste anyone's time. It's more for high rollers. It's a little bit more expensive than what you're seeing on the premium side. So just to let you know, but hope you guys check that out. Anyway, all right, and this weekend, so where do I start? I guess I'll start with the Chiefs, which were my top play. Very disappointing. It's back-to-back weeks where, as a handicapper, you want to defend your pick, and it lost. The Eagles threw for 101 yards, and 28 of those came on the 3rd and 10 in the fourth quarter. They didn't have a 100-yard rusher. I still have no idea how the Chiefs lost that game. An interception on the 1-yard line when you're throwing to Kelsey and the ball gets tipped in the air it's surefire points unless they decide to go for it on 4th down, which they may have. And then just to allow all the things that happen, you come back, you get the ball after getting the stop, and then you punt it back, or after they score, I should say, you punt it back. It's just another frustrating game. I had the Falcons week 1. You guys can go back and look at that, and now I have the Chiefs, and even though you handicapped the game, felt like you were on the right side, you end up a loser. And that kind of happened with a couple games this weekend. The Jets made me look foolish. I'll get to the ones I got right. I mean, I went 2-3. Technically, I went 3-3, but I didn't put the Seattle-Pittsburgh game up as a premium play for me, even though I wish I would have, obviously, because it won. But I had the Colts and the Jacksonville over. I've been screaming about that to anybody would listen. That game should have went over the total by 4 scores. But the Chiefs and the Falcons screw me over back-to-back weeks to start me off 0-2 on my best bets. And as I put it, my concrete best bet, I've only had one losing season. And that was, as I like to say, it was 2 years ago when I first launched a handicapping business. Yeah, get out there, start selling picks, and have a shitty year. That's what you want. And it wasn't terrible, but it's not up to, snuff for me and what I expect out of a football season. So starting off 0-2, all that means is get on my best bets the rest of the way because we are going to have a winning season. But just frustrating the first 2 weeks. Anyway, I don't know what it is when you hit your best bet. Even in a losing day, you still, I don't know, I do. I still feel better about that weekend. But I had a winning day on Saturday, losing day on Sunday at 2-3. And then, Monday night I was all over Houston, and I liked, I went back and forth on this Chargers game. I did like the anytime touchdowns for Jonty and Omari and Hampton. I liked the Nico Collins anytime touchdown. And the baseball game I was on was the Braves and Nats to go over the total of 9. So that was my Monday. Today, as you guys are watching this, Tuesday is my birthday. I'm 46. I don't look a day over 62, so that's great as I'm aging like milk. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. The past few years have been really interesting ride for me, so I'm excited to be a part of the Pick Dawgz team. I'm still excited to be sitting atop the NFL leaderboard and hoping to add to that. As I've talked about weekday games, I'm 4-0. That would be the Monday night game last week, the 2 Thursday night games, and the Friday game. I hit all of those, so hoping to hit both of these tonight to continue that streak. Now, where are we going? All we have is baseball, and I just kind of looked it up. We don't get Maction in college football on Wednesday nights until the first week of November, I think, like November 5th or something like that. So we'll have another month to watch that and see. But it's nice to talk about college football throughout the week as well. But I got 4 baseball games today. And one of the things I realized is I owe you guys another NFL play as I talked about the Texans game 2 days ago going into Sunday, not realizing when I had my sheet that there were 2 Monday night games. I know it's something stupid, but as you have them stacked, I'm like, oh, here we go. And so I gave the Texans game out twice and talking about it on back-to-back days. So either this weekend I'll try to throw in an extra college football game, make it 5 to break down, or next weekend 5 NFL games. We shall see. But let's get right into it as I have a crazy day today. Back to the dentist. So it should be fun. I wanted to get this in before I went to the dentist so I wasn't drooling everywhere. Let's start it off with, for today's games on Tuesday, Atlanta at Washington. It's a doubleheader. And the reason I want to bring this up, I'm focusing on the 1 p.m. game, as that's Chris Sale versus Jake Irvin. But in that game, it's 70 degrees, 12.5 mile an hour winds blowing in. Huge bump. You get fly ball pitchers. Chris Sale, you don't have to worry about because, I mean, he's just filthy. Not to say he couldn't have a bad game in any given moment, but with the fact that, you know, we're going to look at winds blowing in, it's a huge bump. And Jake Irvin, up until recently, he was much better at home. He's still better at home than he is on the road. I think he's got a 5-run ERA at home and a 6-run on the road, but still it's not great. But I still like the under here. And later game, it's a 1 p.m. and a 6 p.m. start. In the later game, the wind dies down, but it's still a huge bump to the pitchers. But I just thought this was the better matchup of the two, seeing Sale and Irvin go at it. So I'm going to tell you to take the under there. Now, I was planning to talk about the A's and the Red Sox, but we're not going to do that because there's no pitching matchup listed. And as I went in, I think JT Ginn might be the starter for the A's, but I couldn't find out anything for the Red Sox. So I went to the Padres and Mets, two teams battling playoff position, battling to stay in. Mets need to get a little bit of a win streak here and keep some of those other teams at bay. Winds blowing in at 7-8 miles an hour, 7 to 8 miles an hour, not 78. 69 degrees. We get Michael King versus Clay Holmes. King, since coming off the IL, this is a guy that clearly can shut it down. With the fact that the wind is blowing in, it's a small bump at 7. Well, no, it's a decent bump, 7-8 miles an hour at Citi Field. I'm going to tell you to take the under here. I mean, this is going to be a theme, except for one game. But I like the pitching matchup. I like the bump to pitchers here. And I think things get tighter as we get closer. And you see some more low-scoring games as attempts are starting to drop. That's why we're on the under in the Padres-Mets. Now, let's go to the Orioles at the Chicago White Sox. 68 degrees there. Wind is going left to right at about 5 miles an hour. Tyler Wells versus Shane Smith. As I talked about it, I went after Tyler Wells in the last game against the Pirates? I think it was the Pirates. Thought that he might get roughed up in his second start off the IL, and all he did was the same thing Logan Gilbert did to me and just, as I say, shoved it. They just said, I don't care what your numbers are saying or what you think's going to happen. This ain't happening to me. But more times than not, we like to attack them. I'm going to go with the over here, and I know the wind's blowing. It's blowing left to right, so there's not a huge bump either way. Both of these teams have been lighter hitting, but I don't know. It's just this feel that I have for the game that Tyler Wells going to give up some, Shane Smith's going to give up some, and the bullpens are definitely going to give up some. I'm going to tell you to take the over here. That's my lean. One of the things that you're looking at these teams, there is power in those lineups, especially, well, more so in the Orioles. If you're looking at Maydroth or a handful of other guys on the White Sox side. But with the Orioles, Kobe Mayo, Sam Basayo, some of the youngsters, Dylan Beavers, you still have Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson. They're missing a couple of key players like Adley and Jordan Westberg, but you know there's still a lot of opportunity for power there. And as we call him, General Soreness, Tyler O'Neill. That's what we always hear. He's getting scratched, and it says General Soreness. So I guess he got a military upgrade there. But yeah, he's got power in his bat too. He also has the ability to strike out 3 or 4 times, as we've seen. One other thing I want to point out before I get to the free play today, weather in the Seattle KC game, it could get postponed. It's an issue, so if you are betting that, be careful. I would check the weather report today just to update it to see where the rain's going. Again, I bring this up because if you're betting on a starting pitcher and all of a sudden it starts raining in the third, he's not coming back out unless it's a very, very short delay. Or the team's just stupid. Because I don't know how many times we've seen a guy come back out and just get annihilated. There was one this year. Was it Frankie Montas? They had a delay in the first. I don't know why they started the game. Had a delay right after the first inning. And then comes right back out and gives up 7 runs and can't get anyone else. Maybe it was Alcantara or it was Montas. It was one of the two. But yeah, so it was ugly. With that being said, just make sure you're paying attention to what the weather is. And as I always say, I come back in the morning and post the results of the weather algorithm so you guys can look at that stuff as well. Now, the Phillies at the Dodgers. I really wanted to talk about this game specifically because these are some of the bigger matchups that we could see in the postseason. It's 80 degrees there. Wind is out 2 to 3 miles an hour. Not much help either way with that. It is Christopher Sanchez versus Shohei Ohtani. And I think pretty solid pitching matchup. I agree with, I was on the morning show with Chris Ruffalo, and he brought up that he prefers lefties against the Dodgers. I would agree with that, but Sanchez has been so good this year. I don't mind taking an under here. Shohei Ohtani, the same thing. As long as he doesn't come out and he's walking everybody, he might give up a solo tater every now and then, but just as solid can be as far as a pitcher goes, and I think they're ramping him up for the postseason, which makes sense. But Phillies-Dodgers, my free play is going to be to the under in this matchup. Now, getting back to it, I'll be posting premium plays. I'll have some of my football plays up early this week. As you guys, if you've seen, I'm still atop the NFL leaderboard, which I'm going to try to keep that for as long as possible. Hopefully keep this going all year long. But a lot of talented cappers over at Pick Dawgz. So make sure you're checking out everything that everyone has over there. Again, this is a shorter one just because I got a dentist appointment today. But I want to tell you guys, I hope you win some cash, and I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast. Thanks, guys.